Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly shop steward today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign playing Paizo Publishing's outstanding Pathfinder 2nd Edition fantasy RPG, playing in our custom setting, our own setting, I should say, of the Spires of Paridar, a Coalpunk, occult conspiracy, Victorian-themed campaign of mystery, murder at times, and industrial progress. And with me today are the stars, the illuminators themselves of the Spires of Paridar campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who are you playing today? First up, we've got Sean.
Hey, I'm playing Golag, son of Doc. He's an orc witch detective.
Every time I immediately think of Manwich.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'm just readjusting your hero points here. Perfect. Next up is James.
And hi, I'm James. I'm playing Sally Dumer, the debutante of the Deep Blue Sea, who's an ancient scale Azar Katie.
Very nice. What class is she?
She's a monk.
Nice. And last but certainly not least is Ingolf.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ingolf. I'm playing Bethel Rathbone, who is an Isoki detective, which means he is an investigator and trying to find out who is responsible for this horrible crimes happening in Paridar.
Yes. We will be joined as well by our fourth Illuminator a little later today, but he is on dutiful uncle detail today, so Taryn will be with us when that has concluded. Guys, so Sean was unable to join us last time. What happened last time? Last time was part 2 of our current mystery, Fire and Brimstone.
Yeah, so we found out a little bit of rumors and information we had thought to find out the session before. We got clues to some Father Ezekiah, who runs the cemetery of St. Ivy. Mm-hmm. And
let's back up just to so last, you may recall, Sean, a couple of weeks or a month ago, we started the most recent investigation, which involved there had been a series of fires over the last several months in Paridar, but most recently a local church that was under the charge of a maybe not a friend, but at least someone that you had dealt with before. That was Father Timothy Tilcott. It burned down to its foundations, and unfortunately, Father Timothy appears to have been caught up in that fire as well. And I think that first session is where you were here is where you guys did conduct the investigation, which seemed to be quickly shut down by some government interference. It was the Ministry of Internal Security seemed to be involved with that. And last session, you guys had, at the end of the first chapter of the Fire and Brimstone mystery, you guys had set out a bunch of different places you were going to follow up, and I think that might have been derailed immediately when someone showed up at the start of the second day, and there were members of the constabulary who wanted to talk to Dr. Ersprung. Now, do you guys remember what they wanted to talk to Dr. Ersprung about?
Yeah, talking about is a nice way of putting him off, charging him of murder.
Yes.
So, so we were talking in the church and Dr. Ersprung helped people in the church who couldn't come to his clinic anymore because that had burned down, and one of the patients there was maybe a follower of this Brother Lope, and they had a quarrel, and the next day said follower was found dead, and Dr. Ersprung was the prime suspect because someone had basically bust the victim's chest in, which brute force, and Dr. Earthsprung was the culprit. At least the constable Duffy thought so, and we could prove that he would be likely innocent, and he wasn't there. He had an alibi and so on. But yeah, that was a thing.
Yep. You've made a new. There is another priest as well too. That was Father Rush, who had taken over as sort of doing community outreach at the church with Father Timothy's death. And it seemed that Dr. Earthsprung got along with him quite well, and he agreed to give over some space so that Dr. Earthsprung could set up a temporary clinic as well, too, serving both the soul and the body, as it were, at one location. That's where this, this incident happened. I believe there were footprints as well that were found around there. Like this, it's not just that this person was crushed to death. He was stomped to death while trying to burn down Dr. Earthsprung's kind of pop-up clinic, as it were.
Yeah, and we found a woman's shoe near a woman's footprint from a woman's shoe. Let me put it this way. Mm-hmm. And this was near the corpse. So we have to investigate further to find out what's going on there. Mm-hmm. That is at least some clue we had. And another one involved something called Larkmont Corporation, who bought a lot of property around there and seems to be somehow connected to these fires, but we couldn't figure out how, because we were missing the wealthy person who talks with his guys. So.
Yeah, there was Father Rush had suggested that there were around the remains of the church. There were a bunch of empty buildings, and he thought, well, look, surely we can set up a clinic in one of these things. And when he looked into it, it appeared that there was this organization called the Larkmont Corporation that had purchased a bunch of the buildings. And then I believe, Sally, you followed up with Ms. Carrington.
Yeah, but she didn't. If I recall correctly, she couldn't really. When we asked around this corporation, she, questioned whether there was a connection with the fires. In that, the fires were scattered around the city. Yeah. And therefore, was there really a connection beyond? Dr. Earthsprung's clinic, and that area, and that stacked, but not to the rest of the fires. Or did I misunderstand that?
No, you didn't. Yeah, I mean, she didn't have any direct information, but she said she would look into it as well. And then,
who was that again? What was her name?
That's Annabelle Carrington, the reporter that you guys had dealt with at the Paridar Globe.
Yeah. And maybe the last clue was there was the idea of St. Adelars, which seems to be some property of the church that burned down 2 years ago. Maybe some kind of seminary, something like that. We couldn't find out. But it seems that Brother Lope was connected to it, and maybe he got his burnings from there.
Yeah, and that was your what you got from the
my friend.
What do you call it? Whisker Network, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but what's his name? Sir Archibald Morgan came to visit me as well.
Yes, and that was something not to do with the current issue. Do you remember what he had come to mention?
Yeah, because he mentioned that there was some murders going on which we thought were traced back to vampire children, and that one of his order had been sent to root out and destroy. And this seemed to go back to the is it the Death Father?
Ghoul Father.
Ghoul Father.
Yeah. He said there's a member of the Order of St. Sylvester named Sir Barnabas Steele, who is a very effective but unsubtle member of his order. He seems to have taken an interest, so he wasn't sure whether you had any. He knew that you had assisted Father Timothy, or at least the organization, the Illuminators had assisted Father Timothy with an issue they had with when there was that Major Fitzhume who was turning the children into full-on vampires, and by way of the Dampiric virus. The Ghoul Father seems to have saved them. It appears that he died, but he may have survived, or at least that's what Hannibal seemed to think.
And what was very, very curious about this was that these vampire attacks seemed to have been taking place at daytime, which would be a very, very, very dangerous thing if that were true. So if this was really vampires at daytime, we have a major problem.
Yeah.
Who's the Ghoul Father again?
Clovis Potter. Let me see. I've got a handout for him here. Let's see here.
He was kind of running like an orphanage where he basically,
He was kind of like a Fagin, but he was one of the, when you first knew him, he was a Dhampir, like Hannibal, one of the corpsmen, a veteran of the last Great War, who had been, reanimated by way of using the vampiric serum. He ran a small gang of orphans for a while, and then you guys became involved with the investigation when they tried to rob one of, was it Section 9's? Or the 9th Medical Corps. Someone tried to rob the 9th Medical Corps of some more of that serum. The end of that investigation identified this other guy named Garrett Fitzhume, who was like that when normal, and like that when he was revealed. He was trying to actually change injecting these kids with this serum and then using his power to dominate them as a vampire. He also converted a bunch of the kids over to it. The last time you guys saw Clovis Potter, aka the Ghoul Father, was falling underneath the swarm of vampiric children. But Hannibal has been thinking that he is still alive. There have been no other attacks from kids, from vampire kids the way it has been, so it seems as if Clovis had these kids under control once again and was keeping them safe, but it does appear now that the Order of St. Sylvester has turned their attention towards them. But again, it doesn't make sense that Clovis Potter as a vampire, Fitzhume as a vampire, could not operate during the day. So if there is some vampire that is now operating during the day, the vampiric serum changed the way that vampirism worked, so Lord knows whether there was a further change that now allows vampires to operate during the day. If so, you can add that to the list of plagues that are seemingly on the cusp of breaking out in Paridar. So, and then the last, you were mentioning, sorry, Ingolf, you did get the name Father Hezekiah, and that was from Father Rush, who had suggested that. Do you remember what you were going to see him about?
Yeah, we were talking to him. So he is someone who knows about, let me call them devils, and how to get rid of them or how to conjure them. And he works at the seminary of St. Ivy, and he seems to be an expert in the field. And so we talked to him, and at first he was very, let me say, he shouted a lot and was not very cooperative, but we could at least convince him that there might be a threat, and then he had some information.
The name of the place that burned down, what was that? Wasn't St. Ivy as well?
That was St. Adelard's.
St. Adelard's, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I didn't misspoke. So
yeah, and so he knew about St. Adelars, and that's at least how we got him to talk. But he wouldn't say what this was actually. So
Adelars is Father Tilcott's place?
it seems to be a mysterious place where something happened, and that burned down 2 years ago. So it's and that is maybe since then there's fires are going on. So we can surmise that this kind of devil that's running around maybe was already there in St. Adelars, but we don't know for sure.
We're thinking that was the beginning, perhaps?
Yeah, so at least if I understood what we found out so far, this could be the beginning of a series of fires or whatever happened to Brother Lope.
So, where we left our session last time, guys. So, as I said, Sean, wasn't being hyper. A lot happened last time, so hopefully that wasn't too much bombarding of developments. But where we open is, I believe, with you guys meeting with. We ended our session last time with you guys talking to Father Hezekiah, who I have given a photo of now. So, Father Hezekiah is an instructor at the Seminary of St. Ivy and a specialist in planar mechanics. And he was pretty... how would you describe his reception of you?
Very unfriendly, condescending, brusque.
Yep.
Not wasting any time with you all.
So you guys have run the full gamut of, professor level instructors now with Professor Galberry at one end and Father Hezekiah at the other. So he says, oh, go ahead.
And Hezekiah, we got to him through, how did he enter the
Father
scope?
Rush was a former student of his, and it seems a very poor student of his. Hezekiah seemed quite shocked that Rush made it through to the priesthood, or at least that's what he said.
Yeah.
And I believe he called him a dullard last time.
Called Father Rush a dullard?
Yes, but Father Rush spoke highly of if you guys wanted to understand more about the threat of the Brimarack, that he would, he was a master, or at least he was a brilliant scholar of these kind of forbidden, magics. Is that right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
When you say threat of the Brimarack, what's the genesis of that term?
Brimarack, that was the demon. Remember when you went to see Professor Galberry 2 sessions ago?
Okay.
You described
Gotcha.
what you found, the burning hoof print, the goat in the fire. That
Gotcha.
Yeah, he saw a Brimarack was what was identified, and they showed you. Yeah.
That sounds familiar now.
Okay. So then, guys, as I think where we left, you guys had approached him and were asking about the Brimarack. That was the last thing you had said, Basil. So he brings you, we cut now to you guys in a small chapel, which looks to be this is not the place where, broader services would be offered to the student body at the seminary. This seems to be some place that only, faculty. It's effectively the faculty chapel, if you will. And we'll Golag, we're going to assume you're here as well, too. Golag, since you were here, is anyone who's trained in Occult, you can go ahead and give us actually, what am I talking about, train? This is Pathfinder 2. Everybody can try it. Why don't everyone go ahead and give us an Occult roll? And then after that, you can add another hero point. Nice. Golag, well done.
Coming back strong.
Yeah.
Well, for me, that's good.
Nat 20 from Basil. Okay.
Nice.
So then, Basil, you are the one who I think first sees this. As you're going in, there's just, your character obviously does not have a, you're not one who is skilled in the magical arts, but there are ways where even if you cannot work or directly sense or whatnot, any kind of magic, whether it's arcane or occult or divine or primal, you still can figure out how to get a feel for it. And I think as you're walking in, we can see your whiskers start sort of twitching right away. As you feel, there's something almost like a tingling as you cross the threshold and you look over, and you can see that there are actually runes of some kind of like really bizarre alloy that have been traced into the flagstones as you're crossing to get into this room, and then along the baseline of all of it. It's almost like the chapel itself is designed as kind of a not just a consecrated holy place, but dipping into other kinds of magics to secure this place as separate and apart from any kind of outside influence. Golag, you would just simply notice some of the markings that are down on there because, you've got training in that. And you would see this as warding symbols, not only keeping out like the presence or making it more difficult for the presence of outsiders to get in. And I mean outsiders in the sense of beyond the known world. It also would basically prevent any kind of magics from detecting in here. And Basil, you would be aware that the alloy, perhaps it's a mixture of the way the light hits it and a mixture of your just innate sense. This is an alloy that seems impossible. It is certain kinds of substances that just would not fuse together, almost as if they somehow took cold iron and silver and some kind of gemstone and then forged an impossible, glass-like steel from that stuff and used it to create the wardings in here. So far,
this is the area where this is the school where Hezekiah is.
Yeah, this is the seminary of St. Ivy. I'll put it in chat. Let me go.
Right.
The seminary of St. Ivy is one of the places where priests for the Church of the Heavenly Host are instructed and trained. And this is the faculty. It appears to be a faculty chapel, less ostentatious, very basic in here too. But it also has an incredible amount of magical warding in here. He leads each of you in. He hasn't said anything further since, you guys can picture, you've been led out of his little lecture hall, down a series of long corridors, back into the, kind of the faculty area. There's been one or two colleagues who have tried to maybe say something to Father Hezekiah that he just wordlessly has sort of waved off. And he's led you guys back into this chamber. And once all of you were in, he closes the big heavy door, and both Golag and Basil, you can see that there are similar markings on this door as well too. And these are ancient and primordial things. Like the church would have you believe that the Church of the Heavenly Host is one of those eternal organizations, but there are things that are older and more primal than they. And those are the markings that you can see on this door. They have gone to great lengths to make this place as secure and secret as possible. So he turns around and then says, "What was it you said? A Brimorak. How do you know that word?"
We saw one. Well, not we, but a colleague of ours saw one. And it destroyed his clinic, it destroyed a church, it killed a lot of persons, started many fires around the city, and it seems on the loose.
He's pacing back and forth as he's thinking. A Brimorak is not the type to be acting independently. It is a soldier and warrior for the infernal realms. If it's here, it either is one seeking to move above its station in the unholy hierarchy, or it is one under the control and doing the bidding of some cursed soul.
So all we can say is that it seems to be somehow connected to Brother Loeb. Wherever he turns out,
Loeb.
Yeah.
You had mentioned St. Albans.
Yeah, so whenever he shows up to say someone was not holy enough, does ungodly work or whatever, it seems that short after this Brimrock turns up there and burns the place down, basically.
What is your part in this, then? What interest is a demon, an arsonist, to detectives such as you?
First of all, it is a crime, but second of all, it is personal because our friend Dr. Ersbrum was one of the victims. So his clinic was burned down, and when someone goes after one of us, we tend to be very, very keen on finding that person.
He seems to be studying you. And again, he's quite a tall, thin guy. And in contrast to you, Basil, he's, almost like kind of bent over. It's almost like he's practiced looming over students as he instructs. And he points over at Golag. I know who you are. Or who your father is.
That's not unusual.
And what is your interest? Are you a lackey of your father's and those that he would serve?
If I was a lackey of my father's, I wouldn't have left and established my own competing investigatory shop, would I? Have.
He leans back. So you've left the nest then, eh?
Yes.
He gestures at your, generally at you. You've paid a great cost. Your markings. They may think them affectations. I know what your tattoos mean, boy.
Well, at least we're in the right place if someone who knows what they're talking about then.
And what is your interest in this?
The same as Basil has mentioned, that we are interested in finding out who is burning down parts of the city, who is burning down churches of your, what would be the right term, of your religion, of your, what would he say?
The church.
Yeah, of the church, and certainly trying to find out who the perpetrator was that burned down the clinic of our colleague.
And you feel this Loeb, that he is connected to this?
He is at the nexus. There's not much question about this, I don't think, at this point.
And I know not the name, but I am aware of the purpose of St. Albans.
Is St. Albans the same as St. Adelard's?
St. Adelard's.
Okay.
In my advanced years, I sometimes can't read my notes.
Yeah, don't try to pull fast ones on Basil, sir. He will catch you in a moment.
St.
St. Albans
Adelard's.
is a nice place too.
St. Adelard's was a place that the church used for those of our order, the men and women and other who have strayed from the path, whether confused in doctrinal issues, troubled by ill humors in the mind, or interested in exploring the unconventional, the heretical, or the diabolic. It can be thought of as a church, a prison, and hospital, all in one. Or it was, until it burned down. Most patients, those poor souls being brought back to the path, we understood them to die, though some survived, it's said. Our investigations thought some diabolic power at play in the burning of it. The unholy legions do not appreciate when one of theirs is brought back to our fold, you see. But we did not think to identify a Brimorak. A Brimorak is a creature of anger, violence, and fire. A Brimorak could have done that.
What motivates such a thing, this Brimorak? What brings it to this plane, and what does it typically seek?
What all such things do, the corruption of those, the claiming and damning of souls, and in return for spreading corruption, and in the case of a Brimorak, destruction. They are blunt instruments, you see, not clever deceivers like other devils can be. They are not ones, though, if it somehow sought to rise in its station, success among the mortals is the way that it is recognized. You must understand it is not something that would normally act on its own accord, nor would it find its way here on its own. It would be summoned, bargained for. And if you say this Loeb, what do you know else of him? Did he study here?
We couldn't find out anything more before this Saint Adelar's business.
What is your intent here? If you find him, what do you wish to do?
Oh, well, I mean, first of all, we have to stop the Brimorak from burning down more buildings and killing more people.
He turns around and he says, Tilcott. Loeb is the one behind burning of Tilcott's church?
It seems like that, yes. We can't say for sure whether Loeb is just maybe a vessel for someone else or just the one responsible. We can't say. But he seems to be very connected.
Very hurriedly walks over to you and says, there are times when they are one and the same. You cannot make a distinction between those who are corrupted and those who are victims. They become vessels of the unholy. This is the corrupting influence of hell. At one time, this Loeb may have been a victim, an innocent, brought in. But if he is acting in this city and burning members of the Holy Church, then he is another agent. He is as evil as this Brimorak. There are those those within the church who will again seek to redeem Loeb, if he was indeed at Saint Adelard's. I am not among those. If he is the one, if he is the master of this Brimorak, you must exterminate him. Send his damned soul to the hells. Let him join his quisling creature back in the pits. He seems more agitated now that he's put two and two together, that there is the body of a priest behind all these fires.
That he knows who Tilcott was, obviously, and
seems so, yeah.
Put a face to it for him of victims.
Yeah. Then, if that is what your intent is, I will find what I can and share what I can. I may only be an instructor now, but I will find there are still voices or ears whose influence I can reach. I will find the secrets of this Loeb, such that we have, and I will bring them to you.
So thank you very much.
That would be helpful.
Tilcott was a good man. For his life to have ended in such a way and so early, there is much good that this city has been robbed of by Loeb and his goat. We
agree.
Then I must reach out to my colleagues. Is there anything else we must discuss?
No, not that I'm aware of. Sally, if you have any ideas.
It all sounds most sinister. Horrible land things you do.
Yeah, why don't we just have the apocalypse crab like you guys have in our religion? It's much more easily understood. So then he sort of gestures for you guys to make your way out. Golag, would you give us a perception check, please?
All right.
And then Basil, would you kindly... There you go. Basil, would you kindly give us a stealth check, please?
I'll spend a hero point.
Hero point, you got it.
Oh yeah, me too.
Okay.
Just
10. Oh, 16. There you go. All right. So, Golag, you're heading out. Sally, you head out. And then what you do not notice, Golag, but Sean, you're fine hearing this. Basil, as you're on your way out, Father Hezekiah very quickly and subtly grabs your shoulder, and he suddenly leans way down to where you are. And he says to you, your colleague, the Mark of Shadows. There are more things that watch behind his eyes than you know. Watch him.
And his avarice.
Yes.
Now, Sally, I don't mean to leave you out of these perception rolls, knowing how stellar you are at them, but if you'd like to make a perception roll to see if you notice, you go right ahead.
Let me...
Holy! Love it! So you did see this happen. Golag seems to not be familiar with it. I don't know what he's talking about. Or you may remember, Golag, that when we last left 2 sessions ago, someone had spotted your contact. What's his name? Something Dag. Sigdag. Wait, your way he sort of like waits in the alley across from your office, and then to meet him at your clinic, or the clinic at the Orc Bar.
I remember him being in the alley, but I can't remember what came of it.
Nothing yet. That was on our to-do list.
Okay.
So, Sally, maybe perhaps Golag is grumbling about something as he's going out, but you spy back and you see Father Hezekiah lean down and whisper something in Basil's ear, and then get up, and both of them are quite subtle about this stuff. but
Not subtle enough.
not subtle enough for you. So then, if there's nothing else you guys wish at the seminary, I think you guys can head out. And where would you like to go next? Also, everyone gets a hero point.
Right. Yeah. Just Gulag, I also have a surprise for you. You remember that I have this clockwork spy, and we were able to plant it at the residence of Brother Loeb. So when we get it tomorrow, we will have a kind of transcription what was going on there.
Oh, delightful. Good work.
Oh, one thing, last thing he says, as you guys are leaving, you see Father Hezekiah says, "Iron, cold iron, and that blessed by the heavenly host. Those are anathema to what you hunt."
Okay.
"I will speak." And then you can hear him say, "Now!" And he heads over to his other, what do you call it? His, back to sort of the office of one of his colleagues. And it's like, "Now, Father Leopold, what is so pressing?" And he heads into, no doubt, verbally, berate some poor, co-worker. So you guys all head out, and you can see that there is, the Golag's clockwork wagon is waiting for you guys out there. But you would have time to have a chat on the streets of Paridar before you decide where to go next. So what do you guys make of what you learned from Father Hezekiah, and what do you intend to do next?
We got confirmation a little bit of just about what we're looking for. Have we heard about the cold iron before? Anybody?
Well, we tried to do something similar with the
Kelpie.
Kelpie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we
The
just got
only thing-
iron, mind you, so.
It turns out electricity was a lot more effective.
We would need to have our cold iron weapons blessed, I suppose. Could
Did we
have...
really get cold iron, or did we just go cheap and we just got regular iron?
I think you guys got cold iron.
We got cold iron. Super.
Yeah.
Is that common?
Golek purchased the iron, so I wouldn't rule out that it was...
Hey.
Plastic.
Are you sure this is cold iron? This looks kind of like cork.
Why does it wobble?
Is it common, this cold iron? Have we ever heard of that before, Kevin?
Yeah, it's especially for one educated in various kinds of magics like yourself. It's not. It is a antiquated material. Like you generally steel for most purposes. Steel is a superior thing to use, a construction material, weaponry, engine, any kind of machinery. Cold iron is a cruder form of it, but because of it, it also has a more, or at least it's seen as having a more like fundamental effect on things not from this world. So creatures of the Fae are often affected by cold iron. Creatures from hell are sometimes affected by cold iron. Though it needs to be augmented. Basil is not wrong with the blessings.
All right, I was checking that it's not so rare that it would suggest a possible connection between our prior investigation and this one, but
no. It's just
not like that.
Yeah, no. It's just the item itself is, or the cold iron itself is just anything that would it's possible that you guys didn't investigate it, but those shadow creatures that you faced when you were investigating the Elder Order of the Endless Odyssey, they very well could have been affected by cold iron as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just anything that is unnatural. For instance, it burns when you carry it because of your unholy. Sorry, I'm reading ahead in the script.
So, well, and I would have known that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see, and of course, he seems to be, as long as he's cantankerous, at least now he's our cantankerous, agent of investigation that he'll be looking from the church side of things.
Most definitely. I think he does seem to be singularly focused in his wrath, and you have his wrath focused off of you and onto whoever killed Father Tilcott, or Father Timothy, yeah.
He's a jerk, but he's our jerk, so it's okay.
Yep. Never a bad thing to have a son of a bitch on the team.
There you go. What else? Well, we got some cold iron, got the cold iron information and the blessed cold iron information.
Yeah. Just because I'm curious, what was he talking about when he was talking to you about some markings on your body or something like that?
Sean's not even quite aware.
So the way that a witch gets its power, their power, is through bargaining with another thing. It's not like it's sort of similar to what priests or clerics or champions do, where they have a connection to some other thing. Yours is a little different. It's a bargain that you have with some other power, and in your case, you gained your magical power by virtue of this ancient kind of orcish scarification techniques. You may recall you got that book of the shadow, not the one that you got from the Elder Order, but the one you had previously. That is what you use to access and gain these powers. And that's partly where, you weren't born with these, you didn't go to school and study these things. You went to some secret place, went through some kind of ritual, came back with your scarring and whatnot, and with your powers.
And I was thinking, at least before, that I was not familiar with who my patron was. Is that true?
You know that it is a voice in the shadows, and you know that it likely comes from the same place that the creatures that seem to be behind the Elder Order were connected to. Creatures of literal, not like the harrow haunts that you face, which were like an undead haunting kind of thing. The things you face through the Elder Order, those were actually bona fide creatures of shadow, similar to what your familiar is.
And is it how similar is that plane? Is it the same? Is it that plane as the one that a Brimarack would come from?
No, the Brimarack would come from hell. The shadow is the void. It's stillness and nothingness.
Well, Basil, I presume that Father Hezekiah is not a fan of, seems to not be a fan of, fan or friend of any being that comes from different planes. So he is feeling free to mix and match between hell and shadow and void. To some extent, they seem to be similar in his eyes. I'm not surprised that the church would look with skepticism. I would expect it, but and especially from on the spectrum of where Father Hezekiah falls, there are sure to be in the church those who look at anything from another plane, as we probably all noticed with the ciphers and hexes on the door frames and walls, try to keep any and all out. That there would be those like Father Hezekiah who would fall on one level of spectrum in the church, and there are others that feel less, not quite as hostile to all. But
Sally, since you rolled so well on your perception check, one thing that you thought of? There were lights in the so let's call it the sanctuary chapel. There were lights in there from various either electrical lights burning or gaslit lights burning, or from torches, or not torches, from candles. Now that you think of it, in spite of all those light sources, Golag wasn't casting any shadow. It's almost like his shadow was left outside of the sanctuary chapel.
spooky.
Yeah. just to give this a more ominous thing. If Sally doesn't say anything, I would just barely in passing, I would just say to Golak in Infernal, which I can speak actually. Are you sure you're not possessed by something? And I don't know if Golak speaks Infernal, but
your languages will be on your first page.
Bottom right.
Yeah.
Bottom right. Yep.
Do you speak Infernal?
I do.
Okay.
I speak a bunch. I speak Common, Elven, Infernal, Jotun, Orcish, and Undercommon. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and what is your reaction?
I say no. It is what I have is a patron, not a. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what the nomenclature would be. I have a patron, not a possessor.
Okay.
A certain negotiation occurred, not a possession occurred.
Okay.
And I think Golag's perfectly comfortable with this conversation. I mean, Hezekiah is wildly uncomfortable with it, or and Golag's like ordering a cup of coffee right now. He's like, this is just for him. This is just known. This is
well, and for Golag, like if Golag felt it, and you tell me if I've got this wrong, but the way you've played Golag over the past, 10 months or whatever, I don't think that there's no way he would give over control of himself to something to try and get power. He's not that kind of character, right?
Right. He's got a pretty strong will. He's a nicer version of his father, but he's still a version of his father. And he's got, he's no intention of, I mean, he's pretty strong. He's pretty, if you get to it, he's got a pretty good veneer, not a veneer, but a part of him that is professional and, worldly and, is courteous. But then if you dig down, he'll lash out if someone's coming after him. Like he's got a pretty, and killing is not a problem. That's not really, it's not. He thinks more of it than his father, but it's still doable. It's very doable. I mean, it's not a big.
To be clear, you've never. I think to inform your role playing, in spite of having bartered with something for this power or whatnot, not once have you ever felt something trying to exert control over you by way of that connection. And oh shit, I can't remember what number 2 was. Sunday brain. I'm apparently completely useless today. What was number 2? So it wasn't that, and during the investigation of the Elder Order, I don't think there was a recognition of it having similar powers, but not once did any of those things try, from what I recall, to convert you or take control of you in that sense. And you never heard from your patron in the course of that investigation either.
And have I ever had a meeting, you think, with my patron besides?
Only in the most expressionistic sort of fever dreams that you have when you commune with it.
But I did originally. I mean,
there is the reason you've got all your tattoos on you and whatnot is because of the ritual scarification that was part of this pact that you had. Orcs as a people have a long history of binding shadows. And that's where you've tapped into. It's just that in the course of, quote unquote, civilizing in Paridar, that's a cultural practice that's sort of been forgotten or not pursued any further. You went back to the Orcish power.
Or frowned upon, as it were, with Father Hezekiah's.
Orcs may not feel that way, but certainly, bloody, ritually scarring yourself is when you can just pray to the Church of the Heavenly Host. It's probably seen as a less. It's seen as a cruder and less appropriate way of bargaining for power. But it is a ancient tradition that the orcs have long held a connection with. So you are just sort of like a, and that may be part of your reason for thumbing your nose at your father. Your father would never contemplate diving into that stuff. He's made his mark and has power over Paridar society because he's become... a non-orc in dominating, or he's been an orc dominating in a non-orc world using non-orc methods.
Gentrified.
Totally.
Human gentrified.
Oh, absolutely. And Golag is his manners, his and whatnot, his prep school education. That's all stuff that's a product of Doc trying to raise his son to be this kind of like a prim and proper someone who could not only navigate but also dominate in the world of high society and affluence. Golag, by deciding to go off and come back with all these crazy fucking tribal markings on him, would be the last thing that his father would have wanted him to do.
And I think it's probably one of my buttons that I'll go like, just because you don't understand it, Father, don't take that out on me. Like this kind of,
And in a way, I mean, you can feel free tell us how you think Golag feels about this. You understand an aspect of Orcish culture that your father never could.
Yeah. Oh, I think he holds it over him. I mean, when he needs to, like his father gets to some, and I don't think he does it regularly, but when we're in that mood, when we're having that kind of father-son interaction, that Golag keeps it in his pocket and bludgeons him with it if necessary.
Yeah. Absolutely lapses back into Orcish and says something to him, and I'm like, God.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So, for in terms of next steps in the investigation, what would you guys like to do? I believe we're around like mid-afternoon, because that's my default when I forget where we are. So.
I think this clockwork spy is only there for a couple of hours now.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I believe it was earlier this morning is when you dropped that off. So then we could go to it's way back on the list, I believe, but there's the to-do list of what you guys thought you would do next time. Let's see here.
Just to finish, I would just say to Golag in Orcish then, yes, I was warned by this Father Ezekiah that you are up to no good. And there's some evil force behind you, whispering in your ear.
And I think Golag's amused by you speaking in Infernal, which he probably doesn't hear very often. It's very, it's a very peculiar. I don't even know what it's used for, but whatever it's used for is peculiar. Sean doesn't even know what it's
used for those of the lower planes to communicate with one another. This is like the language of hell. So you can imagine how guttural and just like how,
Actually, I was trying to switch to Orcish now to sound more like...
Understood, yeah.
Familiar, but I was just trying to advocate something by speaking in Infernal because,
sure.
I mean, as a detective, you just confront people and then they will confess. At least that's what I heard of. So.
Yeah. I'll reply in Orcish. I say that it's not too. No, I'm not surprised, especially since even he said it to my face. His his suspicions of Orcish ways, but says it's not very well known in the cities, but it's pretty common for orcs going back, and even my father rejects such deeply held cultural practices by his own kind, since he is so committed to assuming any and all practices of the city and the church, as long as it brings him power. But we all find our various ways to interact and to excel, and just because it doesn't have my father's approval doesn't mean it's not effective. My father and Father Ezekiel's. And keeping in mind, though, and I think this is out of character, I'm thinking this is probably...
I think Basil no longer listens. He just... you think that Golag went on a tangent about something else.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Golag's he's just rattling. He's just... yeah. Keeping in mind that Father Ezekiel has a patron, and he rattles his prayers off regularly in negotiation for power. Hezekiah, rather, rattles off his prayers in negotiation for power himself. Ha ha ha! And I keep going. I keep talking.
In Orcish too. I think at that, like, speaking Orcish and then laughing, there's someone, like a woman passing by who kind of like, gives you a look and then carries on.
Yeah.
So, I could not. It seems like the chat has cleared out what our to-do list was from last time, so I could not get to it. But what do you guys? I believe among those things were to. I think Dr. Earthsprung wants to speak to Dr. Is it Ravenscroft? Raycroft, Dr. Raycroft. Mm-hmm. And you were going to follow up with Golag with your meeting. And I think,
if I don't have a priority for something else, I would probably do that.
Okay. And Ms. Dumer, I know you had some thought from the previous investigation to speak to Mrs. Hunter once again to see about that introduction to Captain Zalazo.
Indeed, although is that going to be distracting somewhat from the case at hand?
That seems to be less pressing than what is if there is someone out there who's burning down, churches and buildings and whatnot. So
it's almost that case as you land people say about, need to deal with the thing that's burning down.
So what would you guys like to do next then? You're standing
I'll mention to Basil, and I'll just go and say, tell me, you did seem to be getting on rather well with that land priest type.
Yeah.
Rather surreptitiously.
Yeah, so he tried to warn me from that Golag is up to no good, basically. And Golag just told me everything was okay.
Is this more of his business card fetish, or is it something more sinister than this? I have to confess that he did seem to be rather lacking a shadow earlier.
Oh. So Father Hezekiah just told me that there's a voice whispering some thoughts into his ear that maybe not very kind, but Golag. He wouldn't listen to any whisperers. So.
No, it is strange. We know that Golag is fond of his finery and his comforts, but I've never thought of him as particularly sinister.
So far not.
Yeah. Let us see.
Yeah.
You shouldn't let one of your land priests get between us and a friend.
No.
Now, I don't know if this is a hidden special ability of a Brimorak, but Golag, I think your ears are burning.
There's the connection to the hell plane right there.
So Golag is perhaps you're getting up and you're getting your driving gloves on, your goggles down once again, you're firing up the motorized carriage. Yeah. Where is it you guys are heading next?
So I think I'm sorry. Just let the two others do their stuff. I have an idea what Basil could look for, but I think there was enough of Basil interaction so far. So there could be some Golag and Sally would be nicer, I suppose.
Golag says, "I think I'm going to meet with my former colleague of my father's firm. What is a
Sigdag?
Sigdag, I think.
Mm-hmm. That is the name, right? I think I got it wrong last time, but
there was something about a Skulldug.
Skulldug, yeah. I did get it wrong again.
Skulldug, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so you're gonna meet with Skulldug?
Indeed. Unless someone else has something pressing for me to do, looking at Basil and Sally.
I have an idea that we could follow, and you would be the person to do that, but you could also meet with your thing. So we need to find something out about this Larkmont Corporation, and we would really like to know who this woman is who is working for the Ministry of Internal Security, who has crossed our paths.
What is her name again?
Yeah, that's the problem. We don't know her name.
She was not present at the church, right? But we feel the burned church, but we feel that she was at the heart of that.
Well, there was a footprint of a lady's shoe in that said church.
And we're thinking that came.
So the woman's shoe was near where the murder, or that guy who was killed and stomped to death, near where the the guy who was trying to burn down Dr. Earthsprung's like pop-up clinic. He had some kerosene with him. He was going to. It seems as if he was going to burn down the, what Dr. Earthsprung had, and that was the night after he got in a very agitated altercation with Dr. Earthsprung, calling him all the things that Dr. Earthsprung's assistant said that the priest had been shouting at Dr. Earthsprung. In addition to the big footprints matching Dr. Earthsprung's size of boot print, there was also woman's boot print near there.
Yeah, and so the idea was that maybe this Ministry of Internal Security or something like this had tried to frame Adam for this, to get us out of the way, because we are trying to work our way up to this Brother Loeb, and we already found out that someone in higher places is protecting him.
That would make sense given my father's decision not to involve himself in the case. That would match with that level of bureaucracy, would match with his unusual reticence.
So not to derail you, but if you ask what we could find out, that would be something we could look for. But
I think I should probably meet with him, Skulldug, first, but that would be, that shouldn't take too long, and I'll be free afterwards.
Do you wish to go travel there yourself, Golag, or are you bringing the, kind of like, hey, wait in the car while I go talk with the rest of your colleagues? What are you thinking?
I think he would best if he goes by himself. Okay. I think he meets with them usually alone.
Okay. And then what would the rest of you guys like to do during that time? Are you heading back to the office, or are there other things you wish to look into?
I think Basil needs to clean up his desk.
Okay. I need to adjust the red strings.
Right.
And Ms. Dumer?
I'll go for a little immerse of myself in somewhere clean this time.
Oh, okay. Now heading back to the harbor?
No.
Okay. All right.
Too mucky around there.
So as you're, so maybe you're heading back to the Shadow Illuminations office to leave the vehicle there and then head off yourself, Golag. Why don't we're 5 minutes early right now, but why don't we take our mid-session break now, and we'll come back and see with that, and then perhaps Darren will be joining us when he gets back. And what I'll do, I can't remember what time he said he was going to be able to join, but I'll put the link to the call in there. And then we'll be back in 5 minutes, folks, and we'll see what Golag uncovers with his chat with Skulldug. All right. I'm gonna check something. Oh, Anna's going to yell at somebody. There we go. Okay, while we're waiting, I'm just going to quickly load something here. It is, I guess I'll say now during our break and then repeat at the end too, but it's our next session of this is going to be actually in a month's time or 4 weeks time, because next session I'll actually be on vacation. But I'm at that stage. I'm still less than 2 weeks off from it, but I'm at the stage of planning now where I'm starting to mentally make the list of the books I'm going to take with me so I can read and prep while I'm on vacation.
Right. Mm-hmm. You're gone for 2 weeks? Is that the
10 days in total. I can't remember if it's 9 or 10 days, but
right on.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice. I'm just going back to see my folks once again. My folks and my sister, I should say.
You're next weekend, but not the next one yet.
Next weekend I'm here. So I was thinking we've got Witcher and 5 Ring sessions next weekend, but then it's those two are also going to be off for a month, just because of the timing of when I'm taking my vacations.
Yep.
Yeah, so pretty crazy. And yeah, there we go. All right. Excuse me.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you. We have. It's funny because this last Christmas. My brain is wired wrong. So when I try and say Halloween, I always say Christmas. When I try and say Christmas, I always say Halloween. Last Christmas is when, or the last holiday season is when we did when we set up this campaign in the first place. And I'm going to be around over the holidays too. I still have yet to figure out what to propose as holiday sessions for this year. So I'm excited.
Indeed.
Yeah. Now bear with me 2 moments here. Okay, I need to quickly set something up here. And you know what? We may need to change up music for a moment here. We have the same track playing for about 10 months now. In this game. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Okay. 1 second here. All right. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Come on. Madison. There we go. Okay. And just getting the health bar set up here. That I may need. I think Skeldug's going to beat the bejesus out of you. You've really hacked them off. What's a good bar fight between friends, though? I mean, that's, it's a rite of passage almost.
It's how you show you like somebody.
Exactly.
Skeldug, is he? I can't remember. Is he human?
Orcish as well.
He is Orcish.
Yep. That works for your father.
Yeah.
So, guys, you are traveling along. Seems that someone's left their dog in the backyard. You are making your way along, navigating your way back to the what do you call it? The office, when a cart sort of like jerks out in front of you that you sort of, whoa, go like you have to take a turn to go down a bit of a side street. And that is when we find ourselves. I think I forgot to do something here. Yes, there we go. Find yourselves in this bit of a strange, like very hard to navigate kind of alleyway. You got to kind of get down and wind around through things. And then a second cart sort of gets pushed out in front. And that's when you realize that this may be something more than a simple, what do you call it? A simple traffic incident. And let me turn this off here. What's this one sound like? Ooh, there we go. This is the one, I think. Oh, yeah. This is one I can't have on for long times because it causes heart attacks. So, it pulls out, and that's when you realize that something very wrong is going on. And you hear a whoosh, whoosh, and someone has smashed alchemical fires underneath your stopped vehicle. So, guys, I think that Sally and Basil, you were sort of riding inside this thing. Golag, you're, up top. I think that because it's summertime too, you've got the top down. So if you thought that I wasn't going to try and put a Coalpunk version of a Jeep in this campaign, then you're sadly mistaken.
It's afternoon, did you say? It's afternoon?
It's afternoon, yeah. So it's still daylight outside. And what I'd like you guys to do, boom, is kindly click on your tokens and then click on initiative. We're going to use, I think, perception for this one. Nicely done, Golag. Wow. Good effort on Sally's part.
This should be this one.
Ooh. Basil. Oh, so you don't think you clicked on your token, though.
Oh,
well, that's okay. I'll add you in. You can add that. There you go.
Oh, are you sure you wouldn't like me to roll again?
That's like yesterday when Sean, because it is the way the auto rolling was set up, it was set up for exploding dice. So on a D20, Sean rolled a 37 or something.
Yeah. I tried to get sneaky, but he found out.
It's unfortunately exploding in the wrong direction for you, though.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay, so then, guys, and let me roll for what else is going on here. Here we go. Ooh. Go to this here. And because there's not many of us, I think I can add separate terms for this legion of enemies who are coming. I mean, the two groups of enemies that are coming up on you. Okay. Oof. All right. So then, let's see here. Descending. So then, the first thing that happens, guys, you're sitting inside. There are two ruffians. Came one. Oh, actually, they step out, and as one action, I'm going to give you guys cover, but they're going to shoot at you guys. They got little pistols. So Golag does a 19 hit your AC.
I'm sure. I'll check, but I feel confident that it does.
The numbers are deceptive. Remember, because your level factors in. Numbers get higher in PF2 than what you would expect.
17.
Unfortunately, not high enough.
I don't know how cover. Did you say we have cover? I don't know how that works. I forget how that works.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes, cover would grant you. I think it's +2 to your AC. So I think a 19 still would probably be good enough.
Okay.
Okay, it's not on here. Cover. Here we go. It is on here. Because this character sheet her DM screen is fucking awesome. Yeah, +2 circumstance to AC and to reflex saves. So, unfortunately, not quite enough to escape this. You are shot. Someone has come out and shot you for 10 points of damage, Golag. What the hell? And then I think, let's see here. Sally and Basil each give us a D6 roll. Let's see who rolls lowest. You'll be the recipient of this shot. Basil does, so you get +2 to your AC as well. Does a 19 hit you?
No, 21.
21, nice. So it ricochets off of the door, and then as their last action, they're beginning to reload their pistols. Then it is Golag's turn. What are you doing, Golag? You're boxed in right now. You've got these guys have stepped out of sort of clearly where they're hiding on the either side of the vehicle, and someone has tossed in burning oil underneath your vehicle.
I don't think I have anything that could use that's obvious to deal with the fire. I will. And you say they're on either side of the vehicle?
They are on either side. Yeah, they're about maybe 5 feet away from the doors. It's not a very wide alleyway in here.
Oh, I will say, let's see. First time this possibly has ever come up. So let's see. And what is their approximate distance, Kev, would you say?
They're on either side. From where you are, probably like between 5 and 10 feet away.
Oh, okay. Super close.
Yeah.
So,
and one on one side, one on the other side. So they're close to you.
First time, I really just did it so you can see it. But,
curse of punishing it from the audacity to spill your blood. Love it.
Yeah.
So reaction, deals piercing. Yep, that's exactly this kind of damage. I think guns do bludgeoning damage, though. You know what? We're gonna let this one trigger anyway. I'll look it up afterwards. But so you take it. 30 feet triggering feature. Nice. So 2d6 persistent bleed damage. Holy shit. All right, so I need to make a DC 14 will save. I'll make the save in chat. Let's see here. His will save is +10. That can't be right. Hold on. You know what? I think you may have done... The character sheets in this, when you drag and drop a spell in, the one irritating thing it does is it automatically sets it to being an arcane spell. So if you go into the description of that spell, I think you cast occult spells, right?
Yes.
Okay, so change that to occult, and then click it one more time. We'll use the same damage you rolled and whatnot, and same attack roll, because you did get a hit on this. But let's just see with the adjusted DC.
And then click it again in chat?
Yes, click out of it once you've changed it. Click out of it. See, there you go. Yeah, DC 20. That's what I thought. All right, so let me make my save here.
Yeah, 20 sounds better.
Failed. Yeah, DC 10 or DC 14 versus DC 20. Big difference. That is a failure, so I take full damage, and that is 6 points of persistent damage. So what does it look like as this guy shoots you?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
And you lash out, and something happens to him.
I think, so you curse the target, punishing it for having the odd to spill your blood. I think so. I think that as soon as like my blood exits my body, there's this harsh whispering that, like, you know, that rushes at him.
Nice.
And he, you know, so it's like it's like,
yeah, and there's shadowy tendrils lash open, massive bleeding lacerations on his body. So that was a reaction of yours. Then at the start of your turn, your reaction and all 3 actions come back. So you have 3 actions. What would you like to do?
I would like to, I'm going to do on, and he's still up, I assume, right?
He is still up, yeah. You should be able to see his health bar.
Oh, my bad. I've lost track of how this is done. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
And I'm putting in what his bleeding rate is.
Nice. I am going to look over at him and cast Animated Assault.
Nice. Okay. Let's see here. So attack 18. 18's actually a miss.
Okay.
So do you want to spend a hero point reroll?
Oh, yeah. Well, sure. We'll give it a try.
Okay.
All right. Let's see.
Come on. You're not far off there. Oh! So you gesture, and there's maybe like some detritus or trash or something in the alley that swings at him, and unfortunately it misses.
It is a persistent spell, so it can come into play next time.
Oh, yeah, so you can sustain. You can spend an action to sustain it next round. Yeah. Okay. So that's 2 of your actions. You still have 1 more.
I will, that's right. This whole question of what do I do with my one...
It is an action to try and drive the vehicle as well.
And it's a vehicle's blocking, you said.
Yeah, I think you'd have to spend an action to get it in reverse if you'd like.
Sure. I will do that.
Okay. You guys can hear the sound of him shifting gears. Then it is... Ooh. Golag, I believe... Actually, Sally hasn't been attacked yet. Golag, you're the one on top. Mm-hmm. So what you hear, or what you... I think you don't see this, but like... in the film version of this is where, like, away from where you can see, stepping out of the darkness. Oh, look who's coming to your rescue right away.
Nice.
We'll need a doctor in a bit.
Yeah. There is this man, and you can hear him muttering along, "Blasphemers, you will burn. Blasphemers. Lobe. Lobe." And then he steps out and fires at you. You are flat-footed for this, so basically you get you -2 to your AC, but you also get 2 from cover, so it all comes out in the wash. I rolled a 22 to hit you. And that just hits, right?
Golag, definitely.
Okay. Yep. So then you take... Let's see here. So because you acted faster, you would have been caught to take even more damage because of the surprise. So I was reading the ability here. Okay, so then... Oh, it's not a great shot, though. You take another 10 points of damage as someone has shot you in the back. And you look around, and there is this wild-eyed looking... all these guys look like they're working class. Dr. Ursprung, you can click on your token and go ahead and click on initiative using perception. We're going to place you in the wagon as well. There we go. Okay, and
Doctor and able to teleport.
Yeah, exactly.
Doctor Who, not Dr. Ursprung.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So that was 2 of his actions. 1 to move out, 1 to make the attack. He then yells out at the other, the guy who's bleeding, and says, "They are blasphemers! They are enemies of Lobe!" And he is heartened and gains some additional hit points. So it is... There we go. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to put a separate set of... Yeah, I'll do his total here right now. Because he's going to keep... Whoop. I broke my brain. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So he's... you can see he's wild-eyed and getting ready to shoot that pistol at you guys once again. The bleeding one. Then it is Basil's turn. Are you doing Basil?
Yeah. So Adam has a 20, so does he just
I think I'm just going to say, like, we'll go through the pass. Adam will have an opportunity. He'll have just been surprised.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah.
Dr.
So
Earthsprung was logging on at this point.
Yeah,
you know, like, come on, why is the modem on Igor not working right now? Come on.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, this actually surprises me as well. So I would say it's highly time that I devise a stratagem to see whether I can hit the guy from behind shooting at him.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that would be, I just roll a d20 and see if it's good enough.
Okay.
And I would say I just spent a hero point to roll that again.
That's not a bad plan. Come on. Big money.
So this was... So this would be a 17, and this would maybe not hit.
17 is unfortunately... You're in a... What you can tell is you're in a very disadvantageous position right now.
Yeah.
You're sort of in the open... this is the... I learned this trick from... what's his name? Gavrilo Princip. Too soon, guys, for Archduke Ferdinand's murder?
So yeah, I think that in that case I wouldn't shoot at him because I can't hit him. So I think the car is burning from below us.
Yes.
So maybe I could just I mean, this was maybe the stupidest idea I ever had, but maybe I opened the door and tried to look. I love
plans that start like that.
Yeah.
So you open the door, yeah.
Yeah, and try to look below the car whether I can just maybe get some of that off the car.
Sure. So I think what you're doing then is you're interacting with an object to kind of step out of the car, and then you're seeking to see what can be done about that. It looks like there's, from the remnants, there's 2 vials of like burning alchemical fluid or something underneath the car, and you're not quite sure of the mechanical processes behind this, but you can't imagine that it's going to be good to have burning things underneath the vehicle. So. Okay. Then I believe that brings us to Sally.
Then, how far away is the annoying old man?
The annoying old man is about 20 feet behind.
Oh, that's annoying. Then,
you're just going to bop him with your fists?
I was going to bop him with my fists, yes.
Oh.
Well, I'll just still get into my tiger stance, go for a flurry of bows, and go for this guy who's already bleeding, since it's always good to make him bleed some more.
Heck yes. So go ahead and give us your 2 attack rolls. Boom. That is a hit, not a crit. Pretty close, though. Schwack. So that is 2 points of damage.
2 points of damage. Woohoo.
Okay. He's warming up. You're limbering up here. Oh my god. So that one is a miss. You want to spend a hero point in
that? Yeah, I've got a lot of them, so let's give it a go anyway.
Oh, no. Okay.
There's no point in these hero points.
I think I've got these things are broken. All right. Then it is top of the round. It is the ruffians. So first thing they're going to do is, Sally, since you're the one who swung at him, he's going to try and shoot you now. So the shot goes off.
I'll put up my hydraulic shield, by the way, as my last action.
Oh, nice. Okay. Then, oh, great. So you got +2 to your AC. All right. So then it is.
+1, yeah.
That is. There's no way this hits. So he fires blindly, but then he is going to. Interact. He'll draw ready his club. Oh, but he's going to use his snagging strike. No, he can't. He's going to move in on you. Heretic, he says. Actually, in his thing, heretic, I'm going to get you. And then the other is going to shoot at Basil. These guys are working class folks. That is a wild miss for you. And he's going to do the exact same thing. Come here, you whiskered creature. Then it is Golag's turn once again. What are you doing?
I'm going to sustain my animated assault.
Go ahead.
All
Take
right.
the attack roll on that once again. Come on, trash. That is a hit.
Nice.
All right. Look at that damage too. My goodness.
So it's 1d10, not 2d10 for the sustained.
Oh, it's 1d10. Oh, additional damage. I got it. Okay. So add 6 in. Thank you very much.
2d10
Then,
is
however, I
initial.
did not do his bleeding though. So let me get this.
Oh yeah.
Madison, quit cheating. And then it is, yes, it's actually, he stopped bleeding now. I rolled an 18.
Okay.
So, is it 18 to stop bleeding?
Yeah, 15.
Yeah, it's
so-
15, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so then, so he's not bleeding any longer, but you did batter him with some of that trash. You have 2 more actions. What do you want to do?
Let's see. Beyond that, so we're blocked in, right? Let's get back to that.
So you're blocked in it's a front, but you did successfully drive in. It doesn't look like they've blocked off the way back, so you could try and, drive this and move it back.
Okay. Yeah, at least to get us, if it helps get us away from the burning,
Yep.
that'd be big. So
Sure.
yeah, will maybe 1 action to do that.
Yep.
Is that
So here's it depends on how many. So driving is a 1, 2, or 3 action thing. 1 action is you make a piloting check. On a success, you move the vehicle's speed, which is 20. Well, backwards it'll be 10, and then it can turn normally. On a failure, the vehicle moves its speed in a straight line. On a critical failure, the vehicle moves in a straight line and becomes uncontrolled. So all good results.
I'll
If you spend
I'll
2
give
actions,
a
it
try.
moves twice its speed in a straight line at its current heading. So that 2 is like, you still need to make a piloting check, same consequences all around, but it moves 20 feet back then instead of 10.
I mean, my preference would be to use 1 action.
Okay.
And
One
just
action
see if
would
I
get
can
it
get
out
away
of
from the burning.
It would sufficiently get it out of the burning. Yeah.
I will do that.
Okay. Now, let me see here. It's normally like there's a piloting related skill, which I do not think you have. So this is going to be great. Let's see. Orc lore, underworld lore. I think you got to give us a crafting check. Oh, you're proficient with it.
Crafting, okay.
Yeah. So let me just set the difficulty here. Difficulty of this would be a 19. How'd you do?
I'll spend the hero point.
Yep. That's not a crit fail. Oh, look at that though! Holy smokes!
Yeah.
So yeah, you like a pro. You back it up, and you can see where the fire is that was burning underneath there. Basil's head is sort of hanging out underneath it, and you're like, wow! You're gonna wobble back and forth, hanging part out of the car or the vehicle. But you are also moved out of the arm's reach of these ruffians now. So these guys now have to move 10 feet to get to you. You have 1 more action, Golak. What are you doing?
Another fresh first time. I am going to, I think this works. I am going to cast Life Boost on myself.
Nice.
It says a target, so I think that works.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Nice. So fast healing equal to double the spell's level. So you get 4 fast healing for 4 rounds. That's awesome.
So I think this is I'm not assuming I know what I'm talking about, but 4 points per round, I think, is what it works out to.
That is correct. I'm just going to check and see if I've got fast healing on your what's up bestiary thing. I just want to see when you get it. If you get it at the start of the round or at the end of the round. You normally take damage at the front end of the round.
Yeah, I don't have that either. I didn't.
Let me see here. I'll check. I got the bestiary. It may not shock you to learn that I have a stack of books next to me.
Nice.
Actually, if you check in the compendium, you could search fast healing. I bet you'll find it faster than me. Let's see. Fast healing. Nope. Here we go. Beginning of the turn. So beginning of the next 4 turns, you'll heal 4 points.
Nice.
Okay. All right. So the shadows begin to sort of swirl around you. Now, Dr. Ursprung, where you are is in an alleyway. You were heading back from the seminary. a cart pulled out in front that forced Golag to turn down this alley, and then someone pulled out and cut them off, and then threw fire underneath the thing, underneath the wagon, and then Golag has now just backed his mechano wagon up. What would you like to do?
And is the intent that Golag's going to keep driving? Are we like leaving the area, or was Sally outside?
Golag seems to take his foot off the steam, as it were, and to cast another spell. So perhaps you guys are facing these things.
Okay. And how far away are the enemies?
So the enemies are 10 feet in front of you. Are the two ruffians you see that with the fisticuffs up, the pugilists there, and then that old guy is about 15 feet back from where you are near the mouth of the alley. He's the one who's shouting out a bunch of prophecies and has a wild look in his eye. He's mentioned Brother Loeb, or at least the name Loeb.
So he's in the opposite direction.
Yeah, 15 feet behind, and then 10 feet in front are the other two guys.
Okay, I'm going to get Igor to go and see if he can sort out this old fella.
Nobody likes the old fella, do they?
Terrific euphemism.
He seems to be
let's have a chat there, old fella.
The shots, so yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. So are you giving him 3 actions then?
Yeah.
Okay. So first would be to get out of the vehicle. Second would be to move up to the old guy, and then one more. Go ahead.
He's going to try and give him a bit of gentle persuasion.
There we go. Oh, nat 20! Whoa, coming in hot. All right, so unsurprisingly, that is a hit and 18 points of damage. Look at this. He batters this old guy. You still have one more action, Doctor.
Oh, yeah. And everyone else is inside the car?
Everyone else is inside the car, yep.
Okay.
Basil, I'd say about 3/4 inside the car.
Okay. I'm going to try and intimidate and glare on one of these ruffians.
Sure, go ahead. So I think it's a... nice. So go give us an intimidation check. Yeah. Actually, the will's not that great.
Okay.
Ooh,
19.
That's good. So that is a success.
Means frightened 1.
Frightened 1. Okay, so what did you roll for that? Was that... Oh, you rolled a 12. Okay, so that's pretty good. All right, so I'll put here pink for petrified. Ooh, he's frightened 1, so -1 to all his rolls. Okay, so Doctor, you are completed. Then it is the old guy's turn. So old guy is going to he yells out at the injured guy once again. These are agents of the false god! Burn these heretics! And, oh boy, I did just fail. He seems to have a waver in his voice, like he's losing faith in this. But what he then gets to do is to immediately stride. So he sort of like scrambles away from Igor. He's going to be another 10 feet back right now. And then I have 2 more actions. He's going to reload his gun, and he's going to try and shoot Igor. What is Igor's armor class right now? I'll roll the attack, and then I'll let you know.
It's 20.
20. Okay, so I rolled a 23. So that's a hit, not a crit. Okay. Igor takes 11 points of damage as he fires his gun into this metal monstrosity, he says. Basil, you're up next.
Yeah, so can I see that old person still from where I'm hanging outside?
Yeah, if you're hanging out the
car?
door, you look out. Yeah, you can see he's just sort of scrambled away from. He's standing effectively in the middle of the street right now because he was right at the mouth of the alleyway.
Yeah, I think now I think that I have a clear shot angle. I should just try to devise a strategy again
Sounds
to
good.
really hit him.
Yep. Come on. Oh, you want a hero point that? Hey, let's make that decision easier. Everyone gets a hero point.
Yeah, okay, so I will definitely use a hero point.
Goldeye, did you use one of your focus spells? So that's not great.
actions.
Did you use one of your focus spells?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay. I know you've got something that allows you to use something for free and not count as a focus point, or
That's
something
not
like-
it. Yeah,
not
that
okay.
doesn't. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you seem to be in the worst possible position right now. You may fall under the wheels here, Basil. So you have 2 more actions. What would you like to do?
Yeah, just because I'm trying to be mean looking and try to demoralize him. So I mean, I can't shoot at him, but he doesn't know. So,
So you squeak something at him?
yeah.
You sound like a little, I'm not sure what a little mouse is called, but you sound like a mouse more than a rat. So
Yeah, but a cross mouse, a very cross mouse.
So you
Very,
still have
very-
one more action though. Or demoralize is 2 actions or 1?
No, it's 1 action.
Okay, so you have
and
1 more
it's,
action then. What would you like to do?
No, yeah, but I could roll that, couldn't I? I mean,
Well, don't you have to use because it's targeting him? Don't you have to use that nat 1?
I think only for an attack. I mean, if you count that as an attack, then I would just.
Well, let's take a look. I don't think there are some skill actions that do count as attacks. Let's see. I don't know if demoralize does. Let's all learn together here. Go. Okay. So intimidate. Go. And demoralize is not an action. No, not an attack. So yeah. So go ahead and give us a intimidation check, please.
Yeah, but I'm not intimidating. I mean, it's just.
It's hard to yeah. So you still have 1 more action though. What would you like to do?
Damn it. I think I would just get back inside of the car and close the door again. Just
Okay. Sounds
that I
good.
fall out.
You're no longer falling out as he's backing the vehicle out. Sally, you're up next. 3 actions. What would you like to do?
Right. Turns out that my new book is illegible in the dark with my old eyes. So.
Those I love the pocket books for bedside reading. Use at the table. I go with the full size boys.
So, I think I can't really go after the old geezer anyway because this guy will smack me. So instead, I'll smack him.
Well, he's actually 10 feet away. Remember, the vehicle backed up while you guys were in it. Yeah. And attacks of opportunity are quite rare in this. Not everything has attacks of opportunity.
So how far can I move to get to? I can normally move 40 feet. How far can I move?
That's 1 stride. 1 stride action moves you 40 feet.
All right. Well, I'm going to move within 10 feet of the old geezer,
Okay.
which I think should be entirely measable.
Yep.
And then let's give him some more love.
Okay. That is a solid hit. Whack! You rake your extendo glove along. If you're doing a flurry, that's second. You got a second attack too.
Second guy. Ooh, then I
Hero
will
point, that
use a
sucker?
hero point.
Okay.
Yep. Come on.
So just a flat miss. You still have 1 more action.
Then again, I shall put up my shield.
Okay. So you leap over, whack, whack twice, and then that. And I think with here, it's like the disgusting like drainage kind of water that's accumulated between the cobblestones. It sort of comes up and swirls around you. All right, that's the end of the round, guys. So top of the round, we have the ruffians. One of the ruffians is going to run over, throw the door open, and is going to try and brain you, Basil. Come here, you. Nope. He swings and misses, and I think he gets his fist stuck in like the upholstery. Because I roll a nat 1 on this, so he's gonna be flat-footed against your next attacks. And then the guy is going to have to spend 2 actions to run over to you, Sally, and he's going to try and tackle you. So what is your fortitude bonus?
10.
10? Oh. So I need 20. He gets you. So he's grappled you. Tackled you. Come here, you filthy heathen. Golag, you're up next. What are you doing?
So I think So let's see. This animated assault is attached
First
to
thing,
an area.
heal 4 points of damage.
Okay. Yep. All right. Good call. Let's get that done. Very good.
Okay.
And I think that the animated assault is associated with an area, and it sounds like they both have. Obviously, I only cast it on one, but they both ran out of their area, right?
So you're 10 foot. So 10-foot burst. Let's see here. Who does that? So here's what I'm going to assume about this one is that because it says creature, it targets each creature in there. You didn't create it so it's hitting everybody within that 10-foot radius. Remember, they came out on either side and they were shooting on either side. To affect both of them, you would have had to effectively focus it on the thing.
No question.
Yeah, in which case all your
yeah.
allies would have been hit. So I've assumed it's sort of off to the side. You're right, he did move out of that area now.
Yeah. Okay, so then I will let that go. Obviously, I will not sustain it.
Okay, so the items drop to the ground.
And instead, let's see. I am going to cast telekinetic projectile.
Nice.
On. So my choices are obviously three potential targets, right?
Yep.
Between the wounded pugilist and the cranky old man, and they're all within range. Are they all within 30 feet, Kevin?
They are. Yep.
So I will target. I think I will target the. I guess I'll target the wounded guy.
Okay. The guy who has grappled Sally, I think he's flat-footed against you. If that makes it easier.
No. Sure.
Okay.
Let's do him.
To be honest, so is the one who tried to punch Basil. His arm is stuck in the busted upholstery on your vehicle.
That's pretty bad, right?
So go
15?
ahead. Oh, sorry, I didn't. I've scrolled up. Let's see here. 15 is. Oh, it's very close, but not quite enough. You want to hero point that?
I will.
Okay.
Oh, nope.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Oh, nat 1. Ooh, who were you targeting? The one that had Sally?
The one that was flat-footed was Sally.
Sally,
Thanks,
this guy
Coalpunk.
grabs you from behind, and then why don't you make that attack once again at Sally, please?
Okay.
And then, you're wrestling with him, and you go to the side, and then you see this, broken piece of board go, right past your face. You look over, and Golag's got a look of, oh! On his... you have one more action, Golag.
Okay, so what's the situation with the vehicle? So I got room behind me still. Is that right?
You can still move. Yep, you can still move another 10 feet back.
I think I'm going to move another 10 feet back.
You know what? I think Igor might be in the way. So,
okay.
Well, here's the thing: you can maneuver it still. You can do the reverse driving. What you would do is just on a fail, I might make Igor make a reflex save to try and jump out of the way of the vehicle. On a critical fail, you fucking rammed him.
So instead, if I can, in addition to possibly a free shout, I won't move, and instead I am going to shout. Probably maybe surprised at seeing Igor, right? Or was he in the car? Or did
Igor
he say he was in
leapt out of the car as well. Both Sally and
so he was in
Igor.
the car.
You can picture the two of them. Sally less so because it's less of a weight displacement. Well, as soon as Igor jumps out, the whole thing kind of vroom, 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 vroom.
I will shout, "Look out back there!" And then instead of driving, I am going to cast Shroud of Night at the cranky old man for one action.
Nice. Okay, so go ahead. So he needs to make a... Well, okay, so let's see here. Oh, no, that's the link.
And this is the free one. This is the hex-free, focus-free.
Nice.
Skill.
Okay. So let's see here. This is his wisdom score is garbage. Let's see. Failed.
Nice.
Oh! Hell has come upon me!
So it's like a little blanket of shadow that I throw across his face.
Yeah. Nice. That means he's flat-footed against melee attacks, guys.
Nice.
Okay. Dr. Earthsprung, what are you doing?
I shall continue Igor's assault.
Okay.
So he ran away from him, didn't he?
He did, yeah. You need one action to get over to him.
Hearing Golag, can he try and go behind the guy? So
The guy doesn't seem to be able to see whatsoever. You can walk right up and still have as much of an effect.
yeah, so he's going to go behind him. So if the vehicle does reverse, it's going to hit him before I go.
Shove the old man in the way.
Yeah. And then he's going to take a swing at him.
You know, it was a matter of time before you guys ran over someone with this thing. So
Yeah.
that's a miss. You want to hero point that?
I think I will, yeah.
Okay. Because he's pretty.
Oh, Jesus.
What's with this natural ones after hero?
I know, right?
Okay, so you swing. Let's see here.
Not like these new Roll20 updates.
Yes. The critical balancing patch. I can't think of anything fun to do with that because you're not close enough to Sally. So why don't you... he's got, I think, one more action if you've given him 2 of yours.
Yep. So he's just going to take
Second attack.
another swing.
That is a hit. Boom. Oh, no, it's not. No, even flat-footed, it's still a little bit off. So, very close, though. So then, Doctor, you have one action still.
Can I reach or attack the guy that's trying to get into the car?
Yes, absolutely, without moving.
Yeah, okay.
So this counts as your attack number 3, because I think both yours and Igor's attacks count as
so
number of
it'll be attack
attacks.
3, will it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's, yes, not going to happen.
You want to hero point that?
I think the minuses are so bad that it's probably...
So you swing at him, and he, even with the flat-footed, is not quite good enough. You just didn't want to hit Basil. Yeah. All right, then the old guy. So he's blind until when? Sustained up to 1 minute.
Sustained. It's a sustained, yeah.
Okay, and what is the save? So can you repeat the save each round then? It's usually, I think it's usually the way it is with these things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
You should.
yeah, so I'll spend one action trying to resist this thing.
Okay.
So let's repeat my. Nope, he's blind.
Okay.
The great beast has come upon me! I cannot see! I cannot see! I'm going to make just a random check to see what direction he scatters in. If I roll... So let's see here. If I roll a... 1, 2, 3... so if I roll a 1, he's running in front of a moving vehicle. If I roll a 2 or 3, he runs into a wall. Otherwise, he's able to run freely down the street. So he moves over, and it looks like there's some draft horse that's transporting something. Big wagon, like a Clydesdale-style thing. He races over and immediately gets completely run over and killed by this thing. Golag says, that counts as one of mine.
Yeah, that's me, boys.
Basil, you're up next. What are you doing?
Yeah, I just that's how we treat the elderly. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it is not possible that I could not hit this person that's already stuck with his fist next to me in the. So I would just to make sure, I would just first try to demoralize him. With,
okay.
With frightening him.
Yep.
Just, well, was
Nat 20. Beautiful.
Yeah. So
Frightened 2.
Frightened 2. Yeah.
Awesome.
And now I would just.
So what do we see? What does Basil? What's Basil do to sort of freak? You can picture he tried to hit you, arm gets stuck in the cushions. Do you like kind of thing, or?
Yeah. I would just. And I think there will be no strategy involved anymore. I would just try.
It's worked out pretty well so far.
Yeah, take my sword and just stab him with a sword.
Okay, so one action to draw the sword, and then go ahead. Here it comes. That is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage. Remember to hit the one at the whatever the one at the top.
Oh yeah, the one above. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. Okay, so 3. All right.
No.
Okay, so you graze him a bit, but he is terrified of you. Then it is Ms. Dumer. What are you doing? You're currently grappled.
So I think I should try and get out of that.
Yep, so it's either acrobatics or athletics. Your choice?
Acrobatics then, please.
Okay. Easily. Let's see if that's a crit. Not a crit, but you are out, though. So you maybe stomp on his foot, and he kind of, and lets you go. You're free, and you're engaged with this guy now. You have 2 more actions.
I'm going to, pulling back from him as he reels back, I'm going to...
Nice. Go ahead. That one.
Hero point.
Yep, okay. A wise use of hero points. Okay, second attack. Come on, here's that nat 20. It's not a nat 20, and he's not flat-footed. Oh, that one is very close to a hit. I'll hero point that one too.
Oh, I can't. Can I hero point again?
I mean, each individual roll. I think, like, technically, rules as written, you're only allowed to spend 1 hero point per round, but I'm fine with it 1 per roll. They're a limited resource anyway, so if you.
I'm going to keep it because.
Okay.
Down to the last one.
Okay. There we go. All right, so then it is the ruffian's turn. I did make a morale check for them, and they're both very pig-headed. So the scared one first, though, he is going to wildly try and hit you, Basil. Get off me, you monster! Swings at you. It's a wild miss. Swings again. This is at -5. I don't think a 17 hits you.
Nope.
Then he's going to stagger away from you. Get off of me, you creepy thing. So he's down to frightened 1, and he's moved about 10 feet back from you. He's back against the alley wall. The one fighting you, Sally. Give me a fish, lady. Swings at you. That's a wild miss. Follow up is a 17.
Not even close.
Yeah. Stand still, you creature. He's going to swing last time. Nope. So, yeah, he's just exhausting himself. This is a...
Dancing around him.
Yep. Pugilist Victorian version of rope-a-dope. He's just, you know... and missing you again and again. Golag, you're up top once again. What are you doing?
So 4 points of healing, right?
Yep.
Take care of that. Life boost coming in. So, and then I'm going to, it's going to be a telekinetic projectile again. So I have 2 targets, right? This time?
You have 2 targets now. One that sort of seems to be in fear of Basil. Basil's sort of like hissing at him, and he's got his rapier out. And the other one is involved in a bit of a, Queensberry rules scrap with Sally.
All right. I guess I'll go for the Basil one.
Okay. He is going to be easier to hit. He does look quite terrified still.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's actually a crit.
Nice.
Holy, look at this. It's like, I think an anvil that's been abandoned in the alleyway kind of like pinwheels through the air, slams into this guy, and knocks him around. Oh! You still have 1 more action.
And feeling bad for overlooking Sally on the other side, I'm going to go back into the well and try to throw a Shroud of Night over that one.
Nice. Okay, this guy's actually a little better with his save than what the other guy did. The Fanatic, it turns out, does not have any metal. So what? And it's DC 18. Here we go. Failed once again. Tricks!
Throwing blankets of shadow all over the
You
alley.
dirty fish stinking wench! What you done to my eyes? Then it is Dr. Ersprung's turn. What are you doing?
I'm gonna try and aid Sally by getting out of the car and just going up behind this ruffian.
Yep.
So that Sally can sort of outflank him or.
Yep. So 1 action to get over there.
Yep.
He is flat-footed right now because of the shroud.
Yeah, but I want to get Igor to try and finish this other guy off.
Okay.
So he's going to come running in and take a swing at this.
All right, go right ahead.
Wounded guy.
Oh, you want to hero point that?
Yeah, I'll use my last hero point.
Here we go. Last hero point for 5 minutes. Just speak very slowly first. I believe, so let's see here. You ran over with 1. You gave 1 action to Igor to take 2 actions. 1 to run over, 1 to make an attack. You still have 1 action left to either give to Igor or yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Igor. He's going to make the second attack, I think.
Go. Jeez.
Oh, no.
After that awesome hit on that old guy, turns out he's just, his favorite enemy is senior citizens.
Yeah.
Okay. Basil, what are you doing?
I think actually I would jump out of the car with my sword in hand.
Yep.
And say, well, give up or die, and wait whether he gives up or
Sure,
wants
give us
to
an
die.
intimidate check or again.
Oh, nice.
Yes. He puts both hands up, and you can see there's a dark spot that appears in his shorts. So, I believe you have your answer. You still have 1 more action if you want to do anything else.
Yeah, I would just. Do I have some kind of shackles or something like we could
Probably,
capture
yeah.
him?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're ready those things. You sort of dingle them in front of him.
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Dumero.
I'm going to try and actually hit this time.
Okay.
Come along.
There it comes.
Come on,
Paridar
big
zip
one,
ties,
please.
exactly.
Big one.
It's like a bike chain. That one is a hit.
Nice.
Okay. Go ahead with your second attack.
Where are my crits when I need them?
That is, with the flat-footed, that is a solid hit again. Well, you're raking, aren't you? So that is only 1 action for your flurry of blows. You still have 2 more actions.
I'll try 1 more to hit. Oh,
That's a hit
there
as
you
well.
go. And the third one.
Whack. You still have 1 more action.
I can't do a 4th, I guess.
I don't know if you're limited to only 3 attacks. I don't know what let's see. This is a question that actually hasn't come up. I'm sure it's come up in the game before because of Monk's flurry of blows. I don't know if you're capped out at 3 attacks. Do you know, Ingolf?
I think you could actually. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the penalty would. Let's see here. It might
But
be
I
minus-
think it will never go beyond the 3rd attack. So even if you did a 4th, and it will get the -10 from being the 3rd, but I don't know.
Let's take a look here. 4, 4, 6, is it? 3rd or subsequent. So you make a second. Yeah, you can make another attack if you like. It's at your attack number 3 rating. Holy shit!
As I prefer to think.
Exactly. So in a span of 4 lightning fast strikes, you just whack, 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 and this guy is just he slams down. Like that last hit knocks him to the ground, and he is out of it and bleeding out because of the tiger strike. So, guys, I believe that with this guy surrendered, that brings the fight to an end, just in time for you to get another hero point. So, what do you guys wish to do next? So this man is, we can sort of, after that impressive action finale on Sally's part, we then transition to like the post-fight sequence. I think after he sees that, perhaps, is this the one we on here we use? Yeah, okay, that's our regular Muzak. So, I think after Sally's finishing move, we look back to you handing us out, Basil, and he just drops to his knees and offers his wrists forward.
Yeah.
So, what happens next, guys?
So we've definitely, the vehicle is no longer subject to the fire, right, Kevin, for sure?
Definitely not. No, it's whatever's burning it's alchemical stuff. It's probably, you could throw some, like, gravel or something over it. I think Dr. Ursprung would be would know precisely what you need to throw on it. It'll burn out on its own at a certain point.
And
but
Golag will immediately make sure the vehicle's not, he'll go into the undercarriage to see that, nothing's burning. And
that beautiful brass finish is
I know.
Oh.
Not to mention my trousers, as I have to go down there and,
Yeah. it's just not. It's not good. I think that either Sovin or Dr. Ursprung will be spending quite a bit of time to buff out those burn marks.
Won't do.
But this guy is surrendered. What you can hear, Basil, as you are, he seems to be whispering a prayer to himself.
So you are a member of the congregation of Brother Loeb, I suppose?
He looks at you, and that's right. You monsters. You're in God's way.
Yeah, so we are here on behalf and with the explicit blessing of the Church of the Heavenly Host.
They're unholy, aren't they? Infected by evil, they is. Only Loeb knows the way to truth. Your agents are devils.
So that's what he is telling you. Okay.
Well, he knows. He's an agent of the true host. He is.
Yes. So he's an agent of the true host.
Yes.
I see.
Not you. You're all damned.
Yeah, but maybe you can enlighten us a little bit. I mean, maybe I'm damned, but you can maybe save my soul. Just to what is he teaching to you? So
only Loeb. I am but a lowly servant, an agent blessed to act out in his favour, act out his will. God has manifest through Loeb. Praise be his name.
Yeah. So be it. Just to make sure. So where do you meet?
He looks up at
for
you
your
and
services.
Looks up at your allies collecting around. Why you need to know?
Yeah, I mean, if I want to join your congregation, I couldn't if I don't know where it is.
Give us a deception check. He is not the sharpest tack in the thing, but he is a fanatic. So let's just we'll make it a dice roll here. And everyone got their 2 o'clock. Yeah, everyone's got their hero point. Oh, yes. So he looks at the others and leans forward to you. Do you wish to find the way, brother?
Yes.
You wish to find the way to the light?
Yes. Yes, sure.
Release me. We'll kill these heathens, and I'll bring you to Loeb.
I think we wouldn't stand a chance fighting them, but I can release you, and you could just bring me to him.
He looks back and forth at the rest of them. Goleg's muttering about the finish on his.
Yeah, I've got my handkerchief out, rubbing the. I've gotten started rubbing the. Yep.
He leans in. At the mission, underneath.
I see.
We've constructed a chapel, appropriate for his kind, for the grace of the God. The coming apocalypse, the heavenly host will come and burn all those who are unwilling, all those who are evil.
And now I'm speaking a little bit louder. Has he shown you the goat?
A goat? What goat?
Oh, you don't know about the goat? Oh, that's interesting.
It's a goat? What do you mean?
Yes. Yes, he has a very, very, very interesting goat. So he has shown him to other people. But
he seems genuinely perplexed, but he's not off-put. Like he's not unfriendly with it. He just seems like he's trying to. He doesn't doesn't strike you as the smartest. Yeah.
So I mean, to be honest, I think we can just let him run away. I mean, what is he going to do? But I would can I just try to signal Adam that I will let him go away and just follow him? I mean,
do you and Adam? Let's do this. Do you and Adam share a language? Something that would be unconventional.
I think, I don't know. So my languages are Common, Draconic, Infernal, Orcish, Undercommon, and Ysoki.
Undercommon and Draconic.
Draconic seems very, very apt to the task.
Okay.
So just murmur something in Draconic, like I'm gonna release him, and we try to escape, but he will show me where to find Love and his people.
Sally or Golag and Golag, do you guys speak Draconic at all?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Draconic, no.
Okay, so then you hear Basil mutter something to. If you do hear something, you don't make any sense of it. Adam, or Dr. Earthsprung, do you respond at all?
Yeah, I just sort of nod, and I start to move Igor, so he's sort of getting in the way of Golag and Sally's view.
Okay.
Or just getting in the way a bit. I'll sort of gesture him over and make a bit of a scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would just because I have it, and it makes an excellent diversion, I would just throw this bottled sunburst I have with me. Just, to have kind of a show effect.
Okay. Flash of light, and then have you released his manacles?
No, I think I will. He has to keep the manacles in order to. And just if I throw the bottle, I say, "No, run! We have to run."
He looks, gets up, he scrambles to his feet and races off. He's limping a bit because he was hit with an anvil, but he is able to sort of like lumber away and then down the other end of the alleyway. Sally, your eyes are probably the most sensitive to this light. So there's a flash of light, and you and Golag look over, and you see that. Wait, didn't you have a prisoner a moment ago? So.
Yeah, I'll just put my hands up and say, Basil's conned him into showing him where their setup is. So I'll just shout after him, Igor, chase him, and he won't. But just to keep him running.
Okay.
Yeah, and Basil will follow him. Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you give us a this will just be able to judge how well you are to sort of shadow him. Why don't you give us a stealth check, please?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a +2 to this as well, just because you've got lots of. I think he's so freaked out by how that ambush went out that he's just not really looking. That's good enough.
That's a 20.
Yeah, that's good enough. So yeah, you're able. Basil disappears, racing off to try and follow. Did you guys wish to bring Dr. Earthsprung up to speed for what you learned earlier?
Can I tend to Golag's wounds while he sort of fills in?
Golag would heal another 8.
8.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's actually it's odd. You certainly can do that, but as you make your way over, it seems as if his wounds are stitching themselves up.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can. I don't know what if there's an affect to the ongoing. What is it? Focus spell, but it looks magical, probably.
Sorry, shadow, right? Like imagine like little, almost like little like sutures that sort of like kind of wrap around and then sort of pull things together.
Yeah, I'll see it sort of wears out, and I'll just do it. You get another 21 back, which obviously you don't need.
Holy
Nice.
smokes.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
Good to.
Do you want to do the engineer
have
or
you.
crafting check on Igor?
I will do as well.
The same. You got shot. You have to get a hammer and bang the thing. Got a hero point that?
Yeah, I will. I can't be destroying. Igor.
So was it 2d8 plus 10 at your level, or is it 2d8? It'd be the same as first aid.
Yeah, I'd have only been doing a 15 for that. It's only because I've got assurance on the.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, it'll only be.
All right. So then, guys. So what do you want to do next? Well, Basil is.
Darren, you were here last session, right? The one I missed.
Yeah.
Darren. Okay.
Yeah.
So Golag gets off his trousers and tries to brush them off, and says, yes. Well, I guess the doctor was there. I was just daring.
Yeah, you can just fill it in out of character if you like.
Right. So we.
Although I do picture you now slipping into character as Golag when you're like at Starbucks or at the drive-thru.
Right. How dare you? Give me my coffee if I don't.
I ordered a venti, sir. A venti. Good man.
Right. So we finished our conversation with the other curmudgeon this curmudgeon's on our side, Father Ezekiel.
Hezekiah.
Hezekiah, sorry. And I'm
going to only pick names you guys cannot pronounce from now on.
Ezekiel was from St. Albans. You're confused again.
Right, totally. But he told us more about the the demon name Brimorax. Yeah, so the named expert of the Brimarax told us that the Brimarax is a soldier and would not be operating on his own, probably looking to raise his station in hell, and that let's see what else cold iron. He's going to be susceptible to cold iron, especially that is blessed by the heavenly host. Anathema to Brimarax. And Brimarax are creatures of hatred, fire, and blunt destruction. They're not deceiving, and would not be doing it on its own accord. It would be summoned and bargained for. So, and then he was Hezekiah was moved particularly by when we mentioned the last victim of Father. What was the priest that died in the fire? Father
Timothy Tilcott.
Yeah. So when we mentioned Tilcott, Hezekiah offered to look into it from his end in the church and let us know what he was able to uncover, if anything, regarding the Brimarack and any church on the church side that he could reveal about Loeb.
Did you mention about what St. Albans was? Or St. Adelard's? Albans. You see what you've done, James? What you learned of St. Adelard's?
Yeah, burned down 2 years ago. Might have been the beginning of the burning of the fires. That's when something happened to Brother Loeb. It's the it was the prison of, it was sort of the purgatory of the church, maybe is the best word. That's where they sent those who were believed in heresies and were off the path, and it was sort of a combination prison hospital that they would send members of the church there, and that's the one that burned down 2 years ago and was probably the beginning of all this. And it's when Loeb is thought to have changed. So we have him working on the inside. He seems pretty determined and in whatever he does. Unpleasantly so, but he's on our side as of now. At least he stated so, and that he would update us with any information that he came upon. So we did that, and that's pretty much all we've done, because we were heading away from there off to other tasks when we were set upon and driven and forced into this alley and attacked.
We don't know who the old man was with the thugs.
We'll check that corpse. We'll go out there, check the corpse in the street.
Sure. What you can tell from the clothing is that he's just an older version of these other two guys. Like it looks like he's got a laborer class of individual as far as his clothing is concerned, but on very hard times. Like once you like overlook the gore and whatever else from this this dead man. You can also see that there is his clothes are quite ratty, very much like the other two ones. The guy that Sally took out and the guy that Basil released. It's not only, honestly, Dr. Earthsprung, they look like some of the more unfortunates that you see in your clinic. These are people who are not really of the, those who work in factories and whatever else, or as laborers. Their clothing gets a little old and whatnot. These are people who have been on even worse hard times.
When you originally said that he backed up into a horse carriage and got run over, at that very moment, I was thinking it was Loeb, and I thought, wow, Loeb just went down.
It's a really anticlimactic.
It went down pretty easy.
Man, you need to do a little more work on these fucking adventures.
A horse carriage, though, that's pretty solid. Like, you get run over by one of those, that could be pretty serious. Anyway.
Yeah.
Did Golag get a chance to do that object reading on the priest's cross or crucifix, I think?
Oh, that was from before. Did that? I can't remember what happened there. I remember that intent.
He was going to do it, and then
I got arrested or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
I don't remember if anything came of it. You'll have to remind me, Kevin. Did I?
I don't think you did it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. I guess I didn't pull it off because I was trying to, and it just got too difficult because they were going to arrest me. That was. I mean, as Darren reminds me, I kind of forgot about it too.
Yeah,
that was the reason.
Well, the Ministry of Interior. I think you were spying on them, right? You were spying on the Ministry because you sent your shadow down into the carriage to see who was in there.
Yeah. But even and before that, though, I think was before that. The reason I was acting out and causing their ire was I was trying to just get my hand on the church door to cast that spell. So Darren's reminded me of that. I kind of forgot about that myself. But I guess I didn't pull it off, but I don't think that happened.
I think it's just you've been distracted, like we can. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, right? Where things where you just turn your mind towards things. It's easy enough where, and it may be like you put it in your pocket and then just forgot about it in one of your many tailored pockets, and then when you put your hand in to grab the insurance card once again, you instead touch the cross and you're like, oh yes, this.
Yeah.
How did I forget this?
Yeah. Yeah, so we can still, right? So, so maybe, Doctor maybe reminds me in the midst of all the confusion and trying to polish out this brass, and
sure,
and we can get back. But first of all, he's going to say, so Basil, what happened?
Yeah, where's Basil? Wasn't he here a minute ago?
He's gone to find, this secret hideaway of Loeb's, I guess. He didn't mention too much. He just said, I'm going to escape with the prisoner. He was just giving me the heads up.
The last thing he cried out was, now is not the time for stratagems.
So Doctor, what do you think? Should we should leave him be then to not disturb his cover, or no? We should. What do you think?
Well, I think he's probably going to the mission, but we won't be able to get in there without obviously causing alarm.
So probably leave him be. It would seem to be the best, and let him come back to us, right? Giving him cover would possibly blow his scheme, I would think.
I would think so at this stage. I would have to.
He's on his own. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Let's go back to the office.
Trust in his skills.
Okay.
Indeed.
So you guys,
I've got to change my trousers after all, and I have to tell Sylvan about this bumper. It's horrid.
So as you guys are making your way back to the office, Basil, what do you, unsurprisingly perhaps, after a bit of a game of cat and rat, as it were, you find that he has done exactly as expected. He's gone right back to the mission. It takes you probably about 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, because he's on foot. But would there be? There might be an underground at this point. So I think he may take an underground, like a subway, the tube, as it were. You discreetly follow along with him, and then he makes his way back to to this poor district. So you can see he's absolutely returning to report back to Brother Loeb.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, how does he enter? So does he? I was hoping that maybe he just don't know. They have a secret entrance or something to the basement. I just want to spy that out.
He goes in the front door, the same door that you guys saw him glaring at Dr. Ursprung in the carriage before.
Okay. Yeah, it's too early to get the spy back, so I would just then head back to the office.
Okay.
That didn't.
Sure. So Golag, you've got yourself, fetch your trousers changed and whatnot, and you're going to head out and meet up with Skeldag. Sally, Dr. Ersprung, do you have anything you wish to do while you are at the office? I think, Sally, we've already said you're just going to relax in some.
Yeah, I'm going to park that.
Yep. And Dr. Ersprung, anything you wish to do? What the rest of the party there? Golag was going to go meet with his. It's already like in the beginning of the afternoon or into the afternoon. So Golag was going to go meet with Skeldag and then come back afterwards. Yep. Did you have anything you wish to do?
I'm still trying to push the new surgery or place, so I'd probably just pop in and see my doctor contact,
Dr. Raycroft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to see if he can
try
and get one of these old abandoned buildings rather than trying to go through the building route.
And that's one thing the ones that were near the church, at least, those ones seem to have been acquired by something called the Larkmont Corporation.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But so you're heading off to go see Dr. Raycroft. I think we will cut to the let's see here, the Tuscan Tankard, where Golag regularly meets with his contacts. So you head in, and Golag, as is often the case, you see a bunch of regulars, sort of orcs and half orcs who all kind of just say hello as or nod at you as you're going in. Seems that some are starting a little early because there's a couple, real drunk ones talking to one another, leaning on each other. Seems like they'd fall if they, either one of them stopped holding. But you make your way inside. The place is moderately busy. And you look over in the booth where you normally meet up with Skeldag, and there's no one there. At least not yet. And you hear kind of a from behind the bar. And he says, "Gestures, back room."
Nod, and if he's... You'll bring the regular.
Okay. He says, "I think you may not want to be disturbed." He pulls a pint for you, and then hands it off.
Does he need one?
Shake his head.
Okay, I grab the tankard and head back.
Okay, so you head on back, and you open the door to the back room, and it's one of these wood paneled all on the inside. There's a table in the center, and you see Skeldag is the only one in here. There is another door that leads elsewhere in here. Maybe if you've been back here before, it's maybe only one time or two times before. Skeldag looks up at you. You come then.
Of course. And I have a seat, take a long drag on my tankard.
He gets up and says, "All right." And he gives you a look. You'd almost think it might be apologetic. And he turns and walks over to the door, opens it up, walks through. There's a brief wait. A dog in the main room. Who let a dog in the pub? Then, your father walks in.
When's the last time do we think I've seen him?
I think you had not spoken to him directly when we started this campaign in Yule, and I'm not sure you've spoken to him since. So it's been at least, however long before Yule happened. It's at least 7 months. So is it a year, or more than a year?
Okay. Yeah.
So he walks in, he sits down, and you can see he's got a pint of very dark beer. Sits down. "We need to talk, son."
You could have said that at the beginning, rather than saying I was meeting with Skull. I can't say it now either. Skull.
He's such a mysterious guy.
Skulldug. Instead of saying I was meeting with Skulldug, Father.
He leans in and says,
I would have shown. Of course.
I'm not sure I've ever found your comedy or your levity to be funny. If I wanted to contact you directly, you think I wouldn't have done that?
I'm just saying that if you ever said we need to meet, I would show. You don't need to say it's Skulldug.
Why do you think I wouldn't have contacted you directly, son?
Well, it makes sense you sent someone else, obviously, but just tell me you want me to speak, and I will always show.
I thought I taught you better. Why do you think I sent him and not word directly?
Because you are trying to mislead others that would cause us harm.
You are not wrong there, son. He leans in. There are those who would kill either of us, who would burn us down, right down to the last drop of our line. And we can't have any of them thinking that we may be working together on something. Now, tell me what you've learned about this lobe. And he pulls up and puts down a folder, and I'll tell you what I know.
Very well.
And we'll see what he knows in 4 weeks' time. So, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for the latest Chapter 3 of our latest Spires of Paridar mystery, Fire and Brimstone. I will be on vacation at the time this next session would normally be scheduled. So we'll be 4 weeks until we're back under the Spires of Paridar, but we will be back then. Until then, as is always... And I'm trying to tell him. Hey. This lazy girl is not even going to the window. She's lying in bed yelling at people. Come on. Hey, lazy bones. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have channels dedicated to this game. I believe, I don't know if this campaign, but this game at least, and every other game we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other channels dealing with a bunch of other stuff. So tons of great people over there, tons of great conversations, and lots of great knowledgeable people who are happy to help with any questions you might have about different games or online conventions or finding a group or whatever. Lots of great people over there, and you are more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print games in North America. And if you purchase $10 or more through their website, you will save 10% on your purchase by entering the code MUSINGS at checkout. They have a full selection of new RPGs, board games, and card games as well, but I particularly love them for their wide selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs. If they don't have something in stock, more often than not, you can put it on a want list, and they will let you know when it comes in stock. Pricing there is comparable with what you'd find elsewhere online for the in-demand things, and it's quite reasonable in the things that nobody else wants to play. A couple of games that I love that no one else wants to play, I've been able to get for quite cheap. So you can find that the prices over there seem to be quite reasonable. And again, if you're at checkout, enter the code MUSINGS, and you'll save yourself 10% on any purchase of $10 or more. There is also a link down below to our friends to the fundraising campaign we run on the channel, which is Heroes Save Villages. That benefits the SOS Children's Villages International charity, a really terrific organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphan and abandoned children. And all donations that go through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. And their services include ongoing relief efforts in Ukraine and the surrounding regions at the time of recording. In addition, as a small way of saying thank you, in December of 2022, we'll be having our next charity raffle. Every $25 Canadian that you donate through that link gives you one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. In addition, in the end of November, we'll be having our next charity session. The charity session will be returning to a channel favorite, Modifius Entertainment's outstanding Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed Of. And we will be having donors help us design that session by voting on the different constituent elements, just like we did in our last charity session. So if you donated since June 15, 2022, you'll have a chance to vote on a week-by-week basis to help us decide what that session is all going to be about. I've got some ideas for it, including an idea to do one that is more in the theme of the old Marvel Comics series written by Roy Thomas and drawn by John Buscema, but we will have lots of different options for people to vote on to help shape that session for that awesome game. So you get a chance to win some cool gaming stuff, so to help shape the games we run on the channel, and to help some kids who could really use some help. And if you want to see what prizes we gave away in the last charity raffle, head on over to the Dungeon Musings Discord server's Charity Initiative channel, and you'll see a full list of the games that were there. You'll also see the different voting options that we had for our last charity session, playing Eden Studios' awesome All Flesh Must Be Eaten zombie survival game. The last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our stalwart illuminators. So, Sean, James, Ingolf, and arriving just in time, Darren, thank you so much for playing today, guys. So we won't be back in the streets of Paridar until the end of the month, I guess, just because of my vacation. So, but I plan to be cooking up some great stuff. This whole second season was largely designed during my last vacation. So I promised to incorporate some of the faction rules and favor rules that are introduced in Dark Archive, and this will give me the opportunity to work on that while I'm gone. So that'll be great. Until then, so we'll be back in 4 weeks' time, and then after that, we'll be back to our every 2 week basis. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes are uncovering in the mysteries and conspiracies in the streets underneath the Spires of Paridar. Until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.